Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to the Oracle of the Light. My name's SP Psychic Medium. Nice to see you all today. I hope you're all doing okay. As you know, with all of these programs, all readings for entertainment purposes only. But I do use these shows to look into things that are going on around the world and shine a light and get some insight, if you like, on them. So today's show, then, we're going to look at this wonderful move by South Park, the South Park creators. As you may know, if you've seen the press recently, South Park has just been given a new series. They've just signed a record-breaking $1.5 billion deal with Paramount to produce 50 new episodes over the next 5 years, which is incredible. And they decided to start this whole new series, if you like, or signing of that deal with an episode dedicated to Trump, which is quite a genius stroke, I believe, on their part. But what was even more genius is quite how satirical they were and quite what they did. Now, this isn't just for no reason at all. You must remember that South Park are part of our broadcasters, the creators, they are broadcast creators. I will put a link to an independent article on this that gives you more deals and allows you to see some of the episode too. But what is important here is that just this month, Trump's antagonism towards the arts and the media sector in general has resulted in this legislation by bringing in these cuts to PBS and NPR, which are the US's public service broadcasters. Now, I've actually previously done a reading on this, so do go back and check it out on the channel too, about these cuts. They've not been taken lightly. It's a huge cut out of the public service broadcasting. But I believe the reason why he's done that is because we all know that Trump is afraid of the truth, and he's afraid of also artistic expression in the sense of people actually education, basically. I mean, they're cutting the education department, aren't they? They don't want people to educate themselves. They want people to almost like to have a lack of education and be told what to do rather than to think for themselves, you know. And so this is all part of this movement. But what's brilliant is that this whole episode has actually created a huge splash for Trump, and it's created actually a few waves, I believe, to the point where I wanted to do a reading about it because it's so satirical that I'm really intrigued with what Trump feels about it. So the thing that we're looking at today about this episode, I will put a link to this independent article that does also show some of the episode too, is how does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? Let me just change that a minute. How does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? That is the question today that I'm asking. And I'd just be really interested to see what the cards say. Of course, we all know that Trump won't want to portray that he's annoyed by it or anything like that. He'll want to always try and convince us that he's a strong person and that he isn't a weak person swayed by money or swayed by power in the slightest. Of course, he's not a person like that, is he? Really? Of course he isn't. Trump wouldn't be a person like that, would he? Really? Anyway, so let's see what this the cards say. So I'm going to use the Cosmic Tarot. I read them reversed as well, so it really helps. One of the most famous scenes in this, though, is quite really interesting. Is a scene with Trump next to the devil in bed, which is one of the scenes. And another scene as well is we all know Trump likes AI and producing AI videos and things like this. Well, they've also done that with him walking through the desert, which is another stroke of genius. He's very, very clever. And it's things like this. I mean, yeah, I know the politics of things are very serious, and there are people genuinely really suffering and being kidnapped off the street. But it's also through this side of things that weaken the facade, if you like. Without this nibbling away at things like this, the facade doesn't get weakened too. We always have to come at it from the strategic political standpoint of getting policies back in order and making sure voting systems aren't rigged, making sure things are all done correctly on that side of things, but also people's voices are important, and people's voices, creators' voices, artists' voices, just the public's voices are important that they're heard, which of course they have been with all of the rallies and everything like that. And I know there's going to be another media blackout coming up soon, I believe, as well. So look out for these different things. It's all this, and this what South Park have done is part of that erosion of that facade, if you like, you know. Because he's all about looks. He's all about like what he comes across as, you know. I can't see any other reason why he'd paint himself orange myself. But there we go. So the question is, how does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? Well, how does he feel? Let's see what the cards say. My lovely, beautiful table. So okay, so we got those three cards to begin with. So the first one, the 10 of Pentacles. I think this is very much like shattering his world. It's upside down, the 10 of Pentacles. Now, this is very much about what surrounds him. So he believes that he's surrounded by gold, by the Pentacles represents gold and wealth often. And he believes that he's surrounded by this wealth. But in actual fact, it feels like that almost this is like weakening. So I think it's been quite impactful, this episode, actually. By this first card, it feels like the almost the facade is weakening, and I think this is also, we have to look at the timing of this too. It's like a double blow, not only Epstein but this South Park episode on top of that. It's like got him while he's down a little bit almost, and I feel that this is why this facade might be weakening. You know, of course, he wants to portray, he wants us to believe that he's like that person, like that. Look at me, but actually he's not. He's upside down. You know, he's, you know, so. I certainly feel the facade weakening. Now, the High Priestess. Now, this is really interesting. I feel this is to do with almost like the pages coming out of the book almost. It feels like that things are going to be seen that are trying to be hidden with this one, I feel, you know. It feels like almost like people are seeing him for who he really is. That's what I feel with this one, you know. There's a significance of opening a book and seeing what's in that book, though. I don't know what this is to do with, but it's something to do with something being seen that's trying to be hidden. This could be to do with Epstein possibly as well. But it feels like there's going to be something seen that's been kept closed for a long, long time. And there's something going to be opened up. That's to do with this book here, you know. This book, I strongly feel there's something, the facade's weakening and something's going to be revealed almost, I feel. Now, not directly connected to South Park as such, more directly to Trump. And almost, I need to say there's this strong person around. Now, whether or not that's a female, I'm not sure, because I'm feeling there might be a male and female here connected, coming forward as being quite significant in this revealing itself, you know. I feel like a male and a female. You know, there's definitely to do with things revealing themselves. This is really interesting, and I think the reason why Epstein was also he was brought up within the South Park episode too, and so I think this is something around there. You know, the third card is this one, and I feel that he's definitely not feeling the love, if you like. I think he's not felt the love for a long, long time, but he's managed to keep this like facade of a delusion up and denial, you could call it, I think. But it almost feels like maybe that denial's just starting to weaken a little bit, you know. He's certainly not feeling the love, you know. And he's very much on his own, but we know that Trump is a very strange person in the fact that he can only think about himself. He can't think about others, you know. But he's most definitely on his own and not feel. Do you see how his arms are wrapped around the legs there? Definitely, like that's more of that pose is actually more of a comforting pose. So feeling a bit like, I get this sense of like not feeling the love, feeling isolated, I think this is to do with locking himself away. I think the only place he feels safe almost is in his golf clubs when he can lock himself away. The real world, I think, is very scary, becoming scarier for him, actually. He's wanted to try and control everything he possibly can, and he'll try and do it even more to an extreme. He's already at an extreme point, I have to say, though, when he's leading something like Project 2025 and a fascist regime like he's running it, that is an extreme. That isn't not an extreme position. He is holding an extreme position in that sense, you know. And so I feel that there's that with it brings about this isolation. But I do feel he's been isolated for a long time. He lives a transactional life, and a transactional life isn't one that is with people and together working with people. Transactional, you don't ever work with people. You do work with them, but you don't collaborate. You just literally interact, and then that's it, and go your ways. You know, there isn't that sense of collaboration and growth there. You just come together, get what you want done, and then go again. There's never that sense of growth in it there. And I think this is the interesting thing about him. He lives a transactional life, and that is the result of that is isolation and everything, you know. But in terms of, let's look at this episode then, bringing it back to the episode. How does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? It's shattered his world a bit. It's definitely he's not happy about it at all. I definitely get this sense of not happy about it. But I don't feel he's strong enough to fully do what he wants to do about it at the moment, because it feels that this book is going to be opened soon. There's something being hidden in a book, you know, and that I'm sure we'll find out about it in the future. But it feels like something's being hidden in a book. It's a very strange thing, but I always give you what I get. That's going to be quite telling. And this is connected to a male and female, powerful male and female. Now, these may not necessarily be people with good values, don't forget, but there may be a male and female that steer things in a particular way. And also feeling isolated. I want to get another card out now as well, from the Oracle of the Light. I might get a few cards out, actually. I'm going to get a couple of them out. This is the deck of cards that me and Francesco designed. These are available if you're interested. So, have a look then. So, how does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? By the way, if you do enjoy the channel, do subscribe. I really do appreciate it. If you made it so far, this in the video, do subscribe. And do give a comment as well. I'd love to know your thoughts about the reading as well. It always interests me. Okay, so how does Trump feel about the latest South Park episode? Okay, here we go. So, upside down light within and the eternal movement. Oh, okay, this is very interesting. So both of them upside down. So first of all, the light within. So the opposite to the light within is the light without. So it feels like a dimming of the light has happened as a result of this episode. It's dimmed his light a bit. So it's impacted him, is what it's done. It's almost like you could say it's done its work, you know. It's most definitely impacted him. I think the more scary thing is not just the episode itself, but people's reaction to it. I think this is the other interesting thing here. Because people have absolutely loved this episode and it's gone down huge, you know, it's gone down really well. I think that's almost scares him in that sense. And I think that light has dimmed. Now, this one is almost like, you could say this episode is almost like the beginning of the end, if you like. So the eternal movement upside down means things have stopped. Things are stopping. Things are coming to an end. Things are coming to a close. So you could say that because this is the right way up, even though this card looks kind of the same each way, this is actually the right way up. But I got it. It came out upside down when I heard it. So the fact that it's upside down, I feel this is more to do with the fact this card is called eternal movement. Then the opposite to movement is stopping. So something coming to an end. It's like the end is nigh, if you like, with this card. So I feel that this South Park episode might be one of those seeds that could be to do with the beginning of the end, if you like. You know, don't forget they've got another 50 episodes to go on yet. If this is the first of 50 episodes, what potentially else are they going to do? You know, who knows? You know, but it feels like this is almost like the beginning of the end. You know, a really interesting card, and yeah, one that doesn't look that positive for Trump. I feel actually positive for a lot of other people and a lot of other innocent people as well. But yeah, maybe can't be seen with such a positivity for Felon 45 or Trump, you know. So yeah, I think this episode has really shaken him a bit. Do go check it out because I've watched a reaction video to the episode already, and it's true genius. It is true genius. Go and check it out. It gives you a little bit of hope, you could say, in the sense of like getting these messages out there and just trying to break that shell a little bit, you know. But do go check it out. It's a great episode. But listen, keep shining your light, everybody, and remember that in an acceptable world, in a world where people respect each other is what we should always have. Okay, respect diversity, respect individuals, and never embrace individuality. Okay, there's never been such a world with one single race in it, with one single color in it. It's never existed ever, and we should stand up for that diversity and have pride in that. Particularly, there's loads of pride going on at the moment, so celebrate that. And I really do hope you enjoy the channel. Do take care, everybody, with lots of love and light from the Oracle of the Light. I will see you all really, really soon. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.